Hello guys, so in this video I want to discuss finding the sum of the elements in an array, and here's my code. It's pretty much I have a prototype of a function array sum, which takes in the array and the number of elements, and here I'm saying that val sum is gonna be it's initialized to 0. I have the array, name of the array is A, and int num is the number of elements of the array using the size of array divided by size of one element. Gives me the actual number of elements. I'm printing the number of elements, and then I'm calling this function array sum, and the return value from this function here is s, is assigned to val sum, and then I'm printing out val sum. Now I have two printf statements here, so I would be expecting two values, and based on this here I should get what, 25, and I should have 45, 60, 10, 75 as my answer. Now let's see what happens. I'm gonna run this code. So I already ran this code, and I had some issues. So I'm gonna use GDB to debug this code. So here I have gcc-g summary c.c o summary. So let's run this. So now let's say I just run this code as some array, right? You see I'm getting 5, which is a number of elements. You can check that. But the value, val sum, I'm getting a garbage value here, right? So I can't seem to get an error when you run the code here. Everything compiles. It seems okay, but I'm getting garbage value. So let us try to debug this program now. So if you use GDB, right, sum array, right? So let us set up a breakpoint, break main, right? And then I'll run the program, run, and I'm gonna step into the program with next. So n. So here this line is just showing me the array elements n, the size of. So here it's, let's say I print this num, which should be size of. I'm getting the 5 that I saw earlier. All right. So let's go next line and see what happens. Next. Now I'm calling this function. So let's step into the function. So I step into the function here, right? So I hit next. So s is equal to 0. Next. So now here I'm gonna start to the for loop here. So let's see what it's saying for num. So num is 5. Let's print I, and I is giving me a value already of 32,767. Now how do I have that value? So let's go up here. I'm getting 32,839. So let's run next again. So I should go from pretty much 0 to 4, but I'm seeing one of the errors already here, but I'll run this through so that you can see. So when I go to this line here, right, the first time I'm gonna iterate here, let's see what is sum. Print s, and I got 0. And let's print I for the first iteration here. And I is 0. Alright? So we are going through the loop here. We are going through this loop here now. Now, let's go next again. Seems we're coming up back again. So let's check what is the value for I now. Print I is 0 still. So we go next. So we are entering the loop again. Right? Now, here, let's print S. Now S is 5. Now we're starting to, I didn't get S is equal to 5 before. So now we're starting to run this program, right? I printed I. Anyways, so now it seems that the program started. When S is equals to 5, that'll be, I should be 0. But it already printed 5, so I should take a value now of 2. So let's see that. Print I. What? I still 1. So go next. And let's print I now. Maybe now I increments. So I still 1. I is still 1. All right. Next. Print S. S is 15. So now I should be 2. No, I should be 3 because we finish A0, A1. No, I should be 2. So print I. So I is 2. We go next again. It's back to the top here. So I is 2. So the loop gonna run again. So next. So print S. So we have 15 plus 15 is 30. So print I. So I is now 3 because we're gonna rerun the loop again. So next, let's just keep checking the value of I. I is still 3. When you run the loop, we print S. We got 50. So that will be the 30 plus 20 gives us 50. So I'm at A here. I'm at A0, A1, A2, A3. So we already have the value 50. So that is A3. So print I. So now I is going up back, right? It's incremented. So I is 4. Now we go next. We print I again. I is still 4. Next. Now let's print S. S is 75. So when S is 75, that will be A of 4, right? Now let's print I back. Print I. So I is now 5. After you print A of 4, I is incremented here, right? So I is now 5. Now I notice that I have the number of elements is 5, but I had this equal sign here. So look at what happens. When I hit next and I print I, still 5, but now going to this loop, I hit next, what happens? the program seems to stop, right? It jumps out of this loop. Why it jumps out? So let us print s at this point. Print s. Here I am having 32,842. So we had a weird value 32,839. So every time you run this program, you're getting a different garbage value. But what is happening here is that this equal sign should not be here, because you're going out of scope. You have num as 5. Now I only have 5 elements, so that will be A0 to A4. But now, because I is equals to 5, and I have an equal sign here to go 8 to the 5, which I don't have, and the program just shuts off. And so that is why I get this garbage value coming. Now what I can do here, if I go to this code here and just take off this equal sign here, and let's file and save that, right? Not too sure if I can still run GDB like this, but let's say I quit GDB now. Control D, yes. I'm gonna rerun this code, right? So let's just run the code to see what we get now. Sum array. So you see now I'm getting the correct value, right? 5 and 75. So the error has been fixed by just changing this here. This equal sign here was causing the problem, and that was clearly demonstrated here, right? When I is equals to 5, you're jumping out of the code because you don't really have a of 5, right? And it's returning this garbage value here, right? So GDB has helped me here to debug this code, right? I couldn't see this error and I was playing around, but this is an application of using GDB to find the error. You can so what did we do here? I just opened the compile the code, right, using the -g, and then I ran the code, and then I use GDB and the executable, and let me see if I can do this here. History, let's see the last 10 commands I run. Here you go. So this would not give you what I run within GDB. So anyways, if you I set a breakpoint, right? So I had break here, break main, then I hit run, right? So it run, and then I continue with next. You can use n for next, and I was just going through the code, and when I reach the function here, right, next, I'm at a function here. What I did, I stepped into the function, right? When I stepped into the function, I hit next again. So I was going through the initialization. This is line 24. Then next, for the looping, you print num is equals to 5. I print I, and I was already showing me a value of 32,767. Now this was weird. This already was giving well, I can go to this value 32767, I guess, right? Now I'm gonna rerun this code here. Now let's see what happens. So we do the same gdb sum array break main run next next next. So print num, we know that already. So go next, I'm into the function, I step into the function, I go next. So let's print I at this point. Okay, so this I can go up to, it's an int, so it goes up to 32767. Not too sure about that right now, but if, let's see, 2 to the 30 in int is 2 to the 32. So let's try something here, right? Online calculator. So scientific 2. This one won't do it. So online calculator with y2 with power function. Let's see. Come on. Okay, 2 yx32, because if an int is 4 bytes, so this is this number, and let's say we divide this by 2, what we get. I'm just trying to see if I can make sense of this. I don't think I can make sense right now why I'm getting a value of 32767. But anyways, I'll look at that. That's something to look up. Just get back to the code here. So next, I'm into the code. I check what's S. S is 0. Now we're gonna start the iteration. Next, print I still 0, right? So if I is equals to 0, we have not started anything yet. Next, so now print S. So S is 5. This will be when I is equals to 0, right? So let's hit next, and let's print what is I now. Print I. So I has incremented from 0. You came out of this here on line 30, you jump back and I is incremented. Now the condition is checked again and I is equals to 1. You hit next, condition is true, print S, you got 15. So that means you're adding the 5 plus 10 because I is now A1, right? So you got 15. Okay, so let's print I at this point and see what happens. So I is now 2, right? So it is already incremented. When I hit next, just print it back at this point and see what happens. Still 2. Okay, so you hit next, you're back into the loop with I equal a of 2. That'll be 15. Print s. So you got 30 now. So 15 plus 15 is 30. So that is a of 2. So let's print I here to see if it's already incremented to the new value. Yes. So when you hit next, just print it back again. I remains that. Okay. When you hit next, you print S. So now I's A of 3 is gonna be 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. A of 3 is 20. So we had 30 plus 20 is 50, which is correct here. So we go next, print I. I is 4 now. We go next. So 4 is less than 5, right? So N, the loop. So I is 4 is less than 5. But when we hit next, it stops running. So let's print the value of S here. So it's 75. So wait. So print I here is 4. When I is 4, so A of 4 runs. Oh, I should have done this here, right? I should have shown that I is equals to 4 just before you enter this. So when I is 4, you're going to run here. But after that, you will increment, right? You will jump out of the loop because you cannot go further because the condition, I want to do this one more time. If you don't mind, I will do it for myself. So let's do break mean run has already started from the beginning. No, yeah, let's say yes. Let's go next, 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 and here we're gonna step into the function next. So next, print what is I, print I, right? Next, print S, S is 0. So nothing has started as yet. We go next. Now we print I 0. Then we go next, print S is 5. That's A of 0. Then we print I again. Print I is 1. We hit next. We print I again. Print I is still 1. We go next. We print X. Print S. 15. So after that, let's just print I at this point. I has already become 2. Just after I print I, we have 1. So A of 1 is 5 plus 10 is 15. And just after we have finished running line 28, we print I, and I bumps to 2, right? So next we print I again, it should still remain 2, right? Next, now I is 2, so A of 2 is 15. 15 plus 15 is 30, so print S 30. Now you print I, so I should go to 3 now, right? That's correct. And print I should still be 3. Then next, right, print S, so I is 3, so that will be at 30 plus 20 is 50. That's correct. And now we print I. After that has run, it should bump to 4. That's correct. We hit next, and we print I again. Should still be at 4. Then we go next. So when we hit next, A of 4 runs, right? That will be 25 plus the 30 plus the 50. So at this point, if we print I, we have I is now 5. So, and if we print S, S is 75. Now when I is 5, the program doesn't run because 5 is not less than 5. Alright? So this was an exercise in just playing with GDB to find the problem in a C program. Sorry for going through taking up this amount of time to get this done, but it was for my own learning at the same time. And if you find that you have learned something here, um, please subscribe to my channel. This is all for now, guys, and have a great evening. Bye.